Hello everyone, I'm here in Broadcast Depot. My name is Marco, I'm from AxelTech. Today I'd like to talk to you about YouPlay. YouPlay is a production video server, very easy to use and very flexible. It is used in a TV production environment, live or recorded, where the production video server is connected and hooked up directly to your video mixer. In this case, I have a video mixer with my multi-viewer and all my accessories. And the YouPlay software runs on a Windows machine, so I have a Windows with Blackmagic video card installed. In this case, I have a 8 connector Blackmagic, so my YouPlay video server will have 4 inputs and 4 outputs, but we support also other models of the cards like Asia and others. I'm going to fire up my first YouPlay channel right away. I'm just going to open a folder where I have some video clips and just drag and drop some video clips directly to my YouPlay machine and press the play button. And as you see, we're already on air. Some words regarding file compatibility. We've achieved a true universal file format for this, so you can play any file format known on the market, not only the easy ones which are MPEG-1, MPEG-2, AVIs or MPEG-4s, but also the hard ones like MXF files or XDCAM or AVDD and XHD or Panasonic P2. It doesn't really matter, whatever there is, whatever file you have, you just drag it onto the GUI and it will virtually play. This is a 4-channel machine, so I'll show you the other GUIs. I'm missing number 4, so let's fire it up from here. There you go, and reposition automatically the GUIs. Okay, so I can simultaneously have 4 files playing out directly to my video mixer. Usually you use 1 or 2 channels to play your stories or your movies or your bumpers, whatever you need to contribute to the live programming, to the production. Or you can use some of the channels to go maybe on some studio monitors or video walls. Or you can use the same channels to actually act as a recorder. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transform channel 4 from a player to a capture device. So what I'm doing now, I'm actually capturing what's on air, and it's the same content that I have in YouPlay 1. I can choose the format which I want to use during the recording and just start recording. Let me choose an XDCAM, for example. And so now I'm recording directly to the hard disk. So the interesting thing is, while I'm recording, I can actually drag and drop the file which I'm recording to another YouPlay instance and just play it directly while I am recording. So I'm going to play it out. And the interesting thing, I can position myself in this recording, eventually mark a mark in and a mark out in order to define a specific segment to play, apply the marks, and even if I'm recording, I have a segment which I can play out directly on the video mixer. So maybe I can use the slow-mo feature inside to maybe replay some specific parts of my live program which are interesting. And that's what video production server is all about. So you can not only drag and drop your recordings, what you are recording, but also actually any clip can be dragged and dropped from a specific channel to the YouPlay to another channel in order to interchange. Maybe from the video clip you are playing, you want to send it on the video wall, and it's really, really easy. There's something regarding the configuration. Each instance is individually configurable, and we support all sorts of resolutions. So from standard definition, of course, high definition, up to 2K and 4K. The limitation is only the model of the card that you have inside. In this case, I have a 8 connector HD 3G, so I can use the 3G resolution up to there. Something regarding IP, we are very fond of mixing together with the SDI, which is the traditional technology, also some IP technology. So we support NDI, which is the new tech IP format on the output, and it's simultaneous. So you can go SDI and NDI simultaneously. But also on the capture, we can capture directly from NDI, the source, wherever it is connected on the network, but also URLs. So this means that if I have a streaming in RTMP, UDP, or RTP, or whatever other format, I can actually receive that and eventually put it directly on the timeline, on the playlist, or capture it for later use. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. Very good integration also is achieved with your external device. If you have a video production mixer, a high-end video production mixer, which with VDCP, we support both VDCP over TCP IP and RS422. If your video mixer does not have those formats, which are lower range, let's say, you can always interface with a GPI card. This is usually nice, so when you actually press the take button on the mixer, automatically the play of the story starts automatically. You can do that. There's a dedicated internal protocol to be used actually for Blackmagic ATEM mixers and TriCaster mixer already built in. Actually, there's also a very interesting protocol, which is called the Vac Emulator. So the YouPlay can actually act as if it was a hyperdeck, so the ATEM video mixer can actually control it exactly if it was a hyperdeck machine. We also support a MOS protocol, so this means that if you want to use the YouPlay video production server in a newsroom environment and you have a newsroom automation, which usually uses MOS protocol, you can use it directly to play out your stories. A few things regarding formats. On the play, for the play channel, absolute universal compatibility with any format. Interesting enough, also on the capture, there you can choose from many formats. Almost all of them actually. From Apple ProRes to DNX HD, DVCAM, Grass Valley is in there as well. QuickTime with any video codec inside, MPEG-4, MPEG-1, MPEG-2, XDCAM, Windows Media Video. One of the most interesting things is that inside the system I have an NVIDIA card, which is a video card. It's a GTX, and it supports GPU encoding. What does this mean? Well, especially if I'm using the system in 4K, I need the power to GPU in order to not stress the CPU of the computer. And we support H.264 encoding and H.265 directly using the GPU, which is a very nice thing. Simultaneously, if you are, let me put something inside, if you are actually using the capture channel simultaneously, you can also stream in IP. Maybe you want to go to a Facebook video or a YouTube video or any other type of IP redistribution. You can use the same instance to go in RTMP, which is one of the most popular formats to go out in IP streaming. And also for the IP streaming output, you can still use the NVIDIA GPU to achieve all this. Sometimes you want to use your YouPlay server in order to get an animation and use the animation on your video mixer to as an animated background. You can do that. So for example, I'm loading here a sequence of PNG, but we support any sequence of bitmap. So I'm just loading it on the playlist. I prepare it, I press the play button, and I'm on air. So it's not scaled very well because the aspect ratio of the animation was not done well. No problem, I stretch it out, and now I have a background maybe to put my picture in picture directly on air. Another interesting thing is this type of correction can be done very easily on any file. So for example, I'm going on with this file and I'm telling the system that I want to correct the aspect ratio, and then I can actually crop the images a little bit, zooming in and out. so allowing me in real time to actually choose how much letterbox, black letterbox I want, and this is kind of something nice, especially when you have video clips which are coming from outside. You never know in which aspect ratio they are. Another interesting correction that you can do directly from the YouPlay interface is Interlace Correction. Let me pick up a media which I know has interlacing on top, which is this guy over here. So I'm going to play it out, and if I play it out, it looks very well just because the interlacing is done correctly. But sometimes you will see this type of effect. So it's like a jerky back and forth, left to right movement. This is very typical. It's called inverted fields, and it happens a lot nowadays because people are used to do their editing directly using the PC screen. The PC screen is progressive, so it won't allow you to see the correct interlacing. And most of the people, they see that they have inverted fields just when they put the movie on air. So the user can essentially go on the on the GUI of the YouPlay and simply switch the fields and have the perfect effect on air. There's also a very interesting feature, which is the CG layer built inside of the YouPlay machine. We give you a free tool which is called the CG Composer. The CG Composer you can use on any computer in order to create graphical templates, also quite complex. Let me show you what you can achieve. I'm going to get this news now, which is like a news template. Tell them to convert it. And this is the GUI of the template editor. You can have a VGA preview. So as you see, you have your clocks, your tickers, your rolls, and your animations. Once you have your templates, it's easy to actually put the template directly on your YouPlay. You select the template with the browse. I'm going to get my news now and just air it using a graphical layer on top of the YouPlay. And as you see, this is actually also rendered directly, which is kind of interesting. There are some interesting workflows regarding metadata that can be dynamically changed directly on the playlist. So you can actually put lower thirds directly onto the YouPlay machine and use the dynamic metadata to change the text directly while you're on air. A few words regarding the audio. There's great care in audio management inside the YouPlay. You can decide how many channels of audio you want to manage for each instance, from a typical stereo up to all the 16 embedded audio inside the SDI. So this is quite nice if you're using, you're in a multiple language situation, or maybe you're using 5+1 or 7+1 audio. If you choose less audio channels than the ones contained on the video you are playing, the system makes an automatically down mix in order not to lose your audio. Another interesting feature is that for each clip, we actually have an audio channel manager, and you can actually interchange the channel from one channel to the other, adding in order to get the correct configuration. Maybe your multiple audio file has a multiple language file has the language on the wrong channels, and you can remap actually those channels. And also, while you're on air, you can choose to disable some audio channels directly from the GUI, and this is obtained all in real time. So as you see, the YouPlay is a very flexible software, very easy to use, no training needed. You just drag and drop your video files, play them directly to your video mixer in a seamless way in any file format that you have. But at the same time, you also have those features which are typical of a high-end broadcast video production server, and this makes it even better and nicer to use. So thank you very much.